Confidence isn't the absence of self-doubt, it is the ability to acknowledge the doubt, regulate your nervous system, and partner with your body anyway. True confidence in midlife happens when you stop seeing your body as an unruly project and start seeing her as a cherished best friend. Treat yourself with the radical grace you deserve. You are not alone in this, and it is never too late to change. Midlife in Motion is the podcast for women who want to reclaim their metabolism, maintain their mobility, and recognize their divine worth. I'm your host, Angie Collingwood, fitness and yoga instructor, body confidence, and menopause coach. This show bridges the gap between science and soul. We move beyond quick fixes to discuss the real pillars of longevity. Get ready to start dancing into midlife. Welcome, amazing friends, the hidden blueprint to confidence, beliefs, and your nervous system. Wondering if you really can change, wondering if you have the strength to meet your goals, or wondering if it's simply too late. I don't think I can do it. If you've ever whispered those words to yourself, I want you to take a deep breath right now. You are absolutely not alone. Today we are talking about the hidden force that stalls so many midlife women. You might have the external wins, the career, the family, the life you built, but your internal experience just doesn't match up. Today, we are introducing a three-part ecosystem that dictates how you feel every single day: your limiting beliefs, your nervous system, and true confidence. We are going to unpack why your brain is working against you, the biology of why it feels so exhausting, and exactly how to fix it. Let's start with the trap. Whenever we dream big, work toward new goals, or step out of our comfort zones, self-limiting beliefs pop up. It's human nature, but we need to define the culprits we're dealing with. First, there's self-doubt. Self-doubt isn't a character flaw, it's the nagging worry about everything, the constant criticism of your choices, and the feeling of less than. Then there's imposter syndrome. This is feeling like a fraud despite your actual achievements. It's the internal experience that leads you to believe your success is just luck, despite objective evidence of your capability. And if you feel this, hear me now. 70% of people experience this at some point in their lives. And finally, the inner critic, that relentless critical voice that constantly questions your competence and authority. How do you actually catch these beliefs? They are sneaky. They rarely announce themselves. Instead, they hide as automatic thoughts, logical excuses, or absolute statements. Here are 3 ways to recognize a limiting belief in the moment it pops up. First, listen to your language. Pay close attention when you catch yourself using words like definitely or absolutely, phrases like I always mess this up, I never follow through, I can't wear that, or I'm not fill in the blank enough. Whenever you speak in absolutes about your flaws, a limiting belief is at the wheel. Then check your emotional reactions. When you are faced with a minor roadblock, say like stepping on the scale or trying on a pair of pants that feel a little tight, and you react with sudden overwhelming meltdown, pause. Ask yourself, what underlying belief about my value must I be holding on to react this way? The meltdown isn't about the pants, it's about the belief that your changing body makes you unworthy. Next, do a brain dump. Write down one of your midlife goals, and then next to it, write down every single negative thought or doubt that instantly pops up, telling you why you can't achieve it. These automatic thoughts, the yeah but thoughts, those are your limiting beliefs on paper. For decades, many of us have acted as the commanding officer of our bodies and minds, treating ourselves like an unruly employee. But why do we do this? To understand that, we have to look at the biological anchor. Your inner critic actually thinks it's doing you a favor. It's trying to keep you safe from failure. But your nervous system interprets this need for safety as a threat to survival. Let's talk about the autonomic tug of war. Your nervous system is split into 2 branches. The sympathetic nervous system, your gas pedal driving the fight or flight response, and the parasympathetic nervous system, the brakes, which drive rest and digest. Dr. Stephen Porges coined the term called neuroreception. This is your nervous system's 24/7 security alarm. It's scanning your environment and your internal thoughts for danger. Your brain does not know the difference between a physical threat, like a bear chasing you, and an emotional threat, like your inner critic saying you are a failure and your body is never going to be good enough. When you criticize yourself, your neuroreception registers a survival threat. It slams on the gas pedal, flooding your body with cortisol and adrenaline. And here is the midlife connection. When we are younger, our estrogen acts as a powerful neuroprotector. It's a natural buffer against stress. But as estrogen declines, that protective buffer thins out. This is why you might suddenly feel wired and tired or experience anxiety like you've never had before. This is why your nervous system is more sensitive to stress. When you are criticizing yourself and stressed out with worry over something that might happen, the dysregulated system then confirms the belief by flooding the body with cortisol, creating tension that keeps you from treating yourself with kindness and understanding. That cortisol stalls digestion, disrupts sleep, and creates physical tension. This tension and dissatisfaction prevent you from accessing your prefrontal cortex, which would help you recognize the clarity and joy you need to thrive and feel confident. This is the reason the limiting belief feels so true in the moment. Your limiting belief acts as a threat, creating a dysregulation loop. But before we talk about how to break this loop, we have to know how to recognize it. How do you know if your nervous system is actually dysregulated? Let's look at the difference. A regulated nervous system doesn't mean you are perfectly zen 24/7. It means you have stress resilience. When life throws a challenge at you, you handle it and then you return to a calm baseline. You have balanced energy. You can take action when needed, but you can also rest and recharge without feeling guilty or restless. Your body feels physically at ease. On the flip side, what does a dysregulated nervous system feel like? If your body is always on high alert, working overtime, and flooded with adrenaline, it usually shows up in three ways. Physically, shallow breathing pattern, you feel persistent exhaustion regardless of how much you sleep. You have chronic muscle tightness, especially in your neck and jaw, or you suddenly develop gut issues and bloating, chest tightness, or racing heart. Emotionally, you feel constantly on edge or hypervigilant. You might be highly emotionally reactive, where minor stressors completely overwhelm you, or you might swing the other way into numbness and detachment, feeling frozen, always waiting for the shoe to drop. Cognitively, you experience severe brain fog, memory lapses, and racing thoughts that you simply cannot turn off. We can learn how to recognize exactly where our nervous system is. To do this, I want to introduce you to a clinical concept called the window of tolerance. Imagine a literal window. When you are inside this window, your nervous system is regulated. You aren't necessarily perfectly calm, but you have stress resilience, as we discussed. When life throws a challenge at you, you handle it and then return to your calm baseline. You have balanced energy. Your breathing is deeper, and you feel emotionally connected to the people around you. But when your inner critic attacks or life gets overwhelming, you get pushed outside of your window of tolerance, and you usually fall into one of two extremes. Hyperarousal. This is spiking above the window. This is when your sympathetic nervous system takes over. You feel wired. You feel constantly on edge, hypervigilant, irritable, and anxious. Physically, you have a racing heart, chronic muscle tightness, and racing thoughts you just cannot turn off. Hypoarousal, crashing below the window. This is the freeze state. You feel tired. You experience severe exhaustion regardless of how much you sleep. You feel emotionally numb, detached, and unmotivated, and you struggle with heavy brain fog. So I want to teach you how to do a daily nervous system self-audit. You can't fix what you don't measure. A few times a day, just pause and ask yourself, am I in my window right now? Can I take a moment to relax without constantly checking my phone or feeling the need to stay busy? If no, you might be spiking into hyperarousal. If I drop my phone or plans get pushed back, do I bounce back quickly or does my mood stay ruined for hours? Do I feel present right now or do I feel totally checked out and numb? If you feel numb, you might be dropping into hypoarousal. How am I sleeping? Am I able to fall asleep easily and wake up feeling relatively refreshed? Your body has her own ways of letting you know when she has been pushed outside her window of tolerance. You just have to do the audit and listen. Pause and ask yourself these questions right now. Go ahead and take this moment and just pause right now. Ask yourself those questions. So, once you do your self audit and realize you are outside your window, how do you get back in? How do we break the loop of dysregulation? You cannot simply think your way out of a biological stress response. When you are in threat mode, the logical part of your brain goes offline. To show up with confidence in yourself while managing limiting beliefs, you must follow the body first, mind second rule of regulation. You need to physiologically stabilize before cognitive processing comes back online. This brings us to our bottom up somatic tools to use your physical body to send an all clear signal to your brain. Here are three tools you can use the second you feel that anxiety rising. Tool number one is the psychological sigh. This is the fastest brake pedal for your nervous system. Take two quick inhales through the nose, one deep, followed by a sharp top off breath, and let out a long, slow exhale through the mouth, like this. Do this 2 or 3 times. It manually stimulates your vagus nerve and lowers your heart rate in real time. Let's try that again. Doesn't that feel better? Tool number two, somatic grounding. Anxiety lives in the future. When the inner critic gets loud, stop. Push your feet firmly into the floor. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Touch something textured around you. This sensory feedback anchors you into your physical reality, telling your amygdala that you are safe right now. You can use all of your senses. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you feeling? What are you smelling? Go ahead and do that right now. Tool number three, the tension release. When your fight or flight response is triggered, your body mobilizes energy. If you remain sitting, that energy stays trapped as tension. This is the perfect time for a 60-second mobility snack. Shake out your hands, roll your shoulders, do a gentle forward fold, trying to touch your toes while bending the knees. Oiling the hinges gives that stress energy a place to go. So again, go ahead and take a moment right now. Just shake it out, jump it out, dance it out, whatever you need. Once your body is regulated and calm, your logical brain comes back online. Now we can use our top-down cognitive tools to rewire the mind. How do we conquer those self-limiting beliefs? I have a few key strategies for you. First, flip the script. Take your limiting belief and write down the exact opposite. If your script is taking action is pointless, flip it to taking action will lead to results. If the positive flip feels like you're lying to yourself, just add the word yet. I don't have the skill yet. Second, ask questions with compassionate curiosity. Imagine your inner coach inviting your inner critic in for a cup of tea. Ask yourself, is this a fact or a feeling? What's the worst that could happen? If it did happen, how would I handle it? Externalize that critical voice. Give her a name like Maud or recognize her as the echo of the 80s diet culture. When you trace the voice back, it loses its power. Third, look for evidence. Have you survived difficult things before? Can you think of a time you learned something new, even when it was challenging? And finally, build a supportive community. You cannot regulate when you view other people as rivals. Release the comparison trap. Find a community of women who are working toward the same goals, who normalize your struggles, and who remind you of your worth. Check the show notes to learn how to join my next small group coaching program and find out more about the community we are building. When we combine these bottom-up somatic tools with top-down mental reframing, we achieve something beautiful. True confidence. Confidence isn't the absence of self-doubt, it is the ability to acknowledge the doubt, regulate your nervous system, and partner with your body anyway. True confidence in midlife happens when you stop seeing your body as an unruly project and start seeing her as a cherished best friend, treating her with kindness and graciousness. Your assignment this week is to declare a ceasefire, reframe those outdated beliefs, treat yourself with the radical grace you deserve. You are not alone in this, and it is never too late to change. If you are ready to step out of survival mode and into true partnership with your body, check the show notes for more information on how to join my next small group coaching program. Golden rule of change. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself that you will love. The process of change must feel like a gift, not a sentence. When you appreciate your body as she is, you free up your thinking to find ways of caring for yourself that are based in compassion, gratitude, love, and peace. Place a hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. Feel gratitude. Give yourself a 20-second hug and thank your body for her continued strength. Embrace your inner power. I need your help. I would be so honored and grateful if you could share this episode with someone you know needs to hear this powerful message. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep moving, give yourself grace, and remember, you were born to bloom gold. You are building a foundation for the next 40+ years of your life, brick by brick, breath by breath. You are a miracle. Treat yourself like one. If you know a woman who needs to hear this, please share this episode and remember to subscribe. I'm Angie Collingwood. Keep moving and dancing. This is Midlife in Motion. I'll see you soon.